What's good? What's good, man? Hold on, let me get my volume up.
Yeah, my mute was on. Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's good? What's good, man? What are we talking about today?
Hey,
What?
listen. Actually, this was a pretty impressive game today, to say the least, man.
Game number 2.
Yeah,
Vikings.
yeah, but this one I would say was the most impressive. I
Yeah.
mean, just from beginning to end. Like I said, it was always can the Lions put together 4 quarters of a game, and this one was it, especially going up against the team that they went up against. The Arizona Cardinals is basically like the number one in the NFC right now.
Right.
And the way that they actually dominated this game, excuse me, was very impressive, I would say. So kudos to the Lions, man. Kudos to the Lions. Listen.
Man, look, man, fuck that. Let's go! That's what I'm talking about, baby. Significant wins, bro. This is a significant win. This is not beating a team that's got a bunch of guys out because they already in the playoffs. This ain't beating a team that's the worst in the league. This is beating a team that has everything to lose today.
And they did, because today, if they would have won, of course, they would have clinched that that playoff spot, and particularly going to clinching that home field advantage that they had opportunity to be able to do today. And just like we're just watching the game today, it was a great watch.
It was
it was a great watch. You didn't see too many of the mistakes that you usually see during the Lions games. You didn't see stalled drives like you usually see. You didn't see a lot of penalties from the Lions on there. I don't believe I've seen maybe 2 or 3 penalties at the most come from the Lions. And Mr. Check Down himself threw the ball downfield several more times than what he usually do. The offensive line, shout out to the offensive line. I would like to say today they were dominant up front.
Yeah, man.
And they were saying, like anybody could have ran behind that line today.
Yeah.
And it showed.
Yeah, like I said, they just haven't really got that much credit to this season. Even when the Lions was losing games, it wasn't because, Jared Goff was under pressure a lot. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the season, you got to look at who they missing too. You're missing your number one guy on that offensive line. Ragnar's out for the season.
Correct.
So some of these guys are depth guys, man. And Taylor Decker didn't get here until midway in the season. So, to have that type of depth and for them depth to do, they've been doing, man. And today against a team of this caliber, last week against a team in the Vikings who also needed that game really, really bad. So, I'm impressed from end to end, to be honest. But my main guy, man, I've been screaming about this guy since we got him here. Aaron Glenn need his flowers now.
Indeed, yes.
I mean, to take this defense where he is, you know what I'm saying? And we out here with a bunch of glorified role guys, man. That's some second and third stringers. And he's bringing it against the top teams in this league. We've seen it with the Ravens. We've seen it with the Rams, not the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? So, just get this man some talent. Get him some talent, man, and watch out, bro, because we already have the depth. We're looking at our depth right now. That's something that we won't have to build. All we have to do is plug in the studs and the stars, man. We ahead of ourselves right now.
Correct. And, with this type of game, especially with the season that the Lions are having, that builds, character as far as, the type of coaching that's here. It sets the tone. Like everybody say, y'all need to turn it in and, go after that first round draft pick. But these guys, these are professionals. Mm-hmm. They don't want to go out there to lose. Most of the time, they don't want to go out there to lose on purpose. But these guys, a lot of them guys that's playing now are playing for their futures. So they got to go in and show out because they're playing for something. They're actually playing for next season to see if, hey, you guys are going to retain these particular people? Are you, what are you showing? What are you putting on film? Not just for the Lions, but for other teams to see. Listen, there's some talent over here.
Yeah.
And they're coachable. As you can see, like you say, shout out to Aaron Glenn for for keeping this defense the way it has been. Because, like I said, we have a lot of depth, but talent-wise, we're not at that tier. But if you get guys to buy in, stick to the script, and follow the fundamentals of the game, you see what happened as of today. Nobody has been able to do what the Lions did to Kyler Murray at all. I mean, last week you saw what what the Rams did with Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say today we were much more dominant than what the Rams did, and the Rams have a lot more talent than what we have on defense for sure.
And like I said, with the lack of talent, we ain't got guys like Trey Flowers and stuff out there. We got, some guys that I said that's second and third tier out there with some rookies, and Aaron Glenn brung it today. He was bringing it against Kyler. That's how you beat Kyler Murray. You bring it against that little Mighty Mouse. That's what you have to do.
Now, looking at this this comment right here from James. James said he'll be a head coach next year. I'm scared we're gonna lose him. That's a good point, saying that saying the situation happened down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
With Urban Meyer being gone, and the league is going to pay attention to what he's doing with this Lions roster, which is basically not full, on the defensive end, not with any significant type of stars. So yeah, of course, I think his name is definitely going to be in that hat. I know they're going to be looking for a minority choice as well, just to try to save face, because they brought in Urban Meyer to, and he of course jumped the line. And that's something I think we can talk about a little bit too. That was something recent that just happened, in which we've been talking about on this podcast, of how long was Urban Meyer going to stay in the league. For me, I said that, after the season was going to end, he was going to be done. They were trying to save face for the last couple of weeks, because usually they don't fire coaches in the middle of the season, but he just had too many red flags for them to keep this carousel going on. And I think the final straw was this coming up by him kicking players. That was the final straw. It's not. It was becoming too much about him and not about the team.
Right. Like I said, even with the Aaron Glenn situation, they probably will take some looks at him. I'm not sure if he's going to get that job after his first season with the Lions, even though they are good. That the Lions are 2-11-1. And I think once the Lions do produce a couple of wins, some more wins, I think teams are going to say, okay, now he's ready. I don't know if he's going to be ready after this first season when the Lions had the season that they had. So, like I said, yeah, he's doing a hell of a job of what he has, and that's not a lot at all. Yeah. So, I can see, if it happened, it is what it is, but I just don't know if that's going to happen yet. But I just want to say this about Aaron Glenn, man. Give that man Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, bro, and add some more pieces to the linebacking core, secondary, and things like that. The NFC is going to feel it. They're going to feel it, man, because like I said, Aaron Glenn coming into this thing, it was athletes, that played the game, some that play currently today. They was talking about how intelligent this man was as a player. So you're seeing that translate, as a defensive coordinator, man. And, that's why I was oozing about him so much in the beginning of the season when we got him, because like I said, we needed that guy, man, that just understood modern day offenses, understood how to put players in the best position to be successful out there. And if you can take undrafted guys and a bunch of rookies, some guys that probably on a practice squad on other teams and do that, I mean, come on,
I think for me, the best thing that Dan Campbell did was his hires as assistants.
Yeah.
I know, the offensive coordinator was getting a lot of slack earlier on in the season, but I still feel that, he's going to be very productive once we get the weapons on the offensive end. Because for one, we are still dealing with what we're going to get out of Jared Goff. Now, for me, watching what he did today, and I can imagine if we were to get some more weapons in the offense, if he could just maintain, just be the point guard of it. Don't, I can live with him another year. And this is something that I seen what Quick Chalik brought up. I'm about to pull it up now.
Mm-hmm. Even with like I said, I've been super hard on him. Yeah.
Look at that's perfect. Seeing offensive strength is the line when they're healthy, of course. First overall pick, take Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
So he's in agreement. Late first round pick, take a wide receiver. Like you say, you may need to trade up to get the guy. Jared Goff, give him one more year to show that he's the QB. That's perfect for me. I mean, he's said it well. I think that for one, that contract is not going away, so we're going to have Goff for another year. I believe we would need to draft quarterback of the future, somebody that we don't have to rush in. They can sit back and learn. A lot of these quarterbacks coming into this league, they're rushing them in to play right away, and they're not ready because they need to sit back and let the game come to them. And I think with this particular draft, because there's no high price quarterback, a lot of these quarterbacks that come in and learn and not have to be rushed in to put themselves behind the eight ball like most of these young quarterbacks in this league now, except for like Mac Jones this year.
Right.
Of course, you had Trevor Lawrence, who was the next best thing coming out.
Right.
In generations, he had to struggle with the head coach that was taking up all the headline. He was more of the leader of the team than the head coach himself. Like he was saying, listen, put the best player on the field. What are you doing?
Right.
And why is your rookie quarterback is telling your your head coach, had the best players on the field?
Yeah.
So most definitely, with those comments, I've seen. I agree. I agree with what he was saying in that broadcast, and I want to put that out there. So, let's go look into some of these comments too, King. Man, let's just shout out some of our guys that's here today, man.
For sure.
Joshua, man, what's going on, man? King Davis 7374. Maybe you don't get in here, man.
He cooking the casserole, y'all. Right. He can't get in here.
What's going on, man? On 16, you always rocking with us, man. And listen, we got 2 more victories on. So you definitely gonna have to change your name, man, for real.
He had that name for a long time, man.
For a long time. Also, while we on the topic, though, we gotta make sure we shout out our official sponsor, Culture Detroit, located in Avenue of Fashion, 19327 Illinois. They are there for all your sneaker needs, all exclusive, sneakers. So if you're a sneakerhead, if you're not a sneakerhead, if you like sneakers, if you want something exclusive, definitely go check them out, man. Tell them We Three Kings sent you. They definitely look out for you.
Absolutely, man. And wanted to bring up something else, man. My breakout player has definitely broken out this year. Amani, say it with me, everyone. Oruwariye. Amani Oruwariye, man, showed up again today, man. Like I said, he was that type of guy in Penn State, man, and to jump that ball today and almost take it all the way to the crib. You know what I'm saying? I was so excited because I had really high hopes of him because he survived the Matt Patricia era. You know what I'm saying? And we still on the team, right? We still on the team where we're not the most talented team in the world. So, and he's able to produce. I believe this is interception number 5, or is it 5 or 6 for him?
6. He's right behind Diggs.
Yeah, man.
Interception goes, which would put him in the line, man. Looks like we're gonna have us a Pro Bowler off the Lions this year, man.
Man, that boy is definitely doing his thing, man. He been content. Like I said, he done been through some tough situations. He had a little rough start first couple of games of the season. After that, he picked it up, man, and got it together. And like I said, your defensive coordinator is Aaron Glenn. That's only going to make it better for him because he understands the grind that a defensive back has to go through in that secondary. So, when we add that talent, it's only going to get better for him. That's the scary part for the NFC North. It's only going to get better for him, man. When we do get some guys that create pressure more often, it's going to make that whole secondary look better, man. We get some more guys to add to that linebacker core, and you know, like I said, I'm looking for. I got really high hopes for him. You know, really high hopes for him, and hopefully we can get Jerry Jacobs back, you know, healthy enough to where he can pick up where he left off.
And
yeah,
and our perennial, number 3 overall pick, we still got out there that we need to see if he's going to be available. Which just with the secondary, depth is always needed. You can never not have too many defensive backs in this league, just for the purposes that you may get hurt, or you always want to have depth at that position. So definitely, that's a check that we look forward to going into next season. Want to address this question from Truck Brewer. Does this take some of the heat or hate off of Campbell?
You know, obviously, you know, I haven't said much about this Dan Campbell situation when it comes to some people saying fire the guy. He's done some boneheaded things. Let's not get it twisted. He has. He's learning some things on the job. He really is. He's learning some things on the job, especially as far as offensive play calling.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see Dan Campbell with some talent. I need to see him healthy with some talent before I can say, hey, Dan Campbell is not the guy. I want to see, because we all know how this is, man. The league, players can get you fired. You know what I'm saying? Players can definitely get you fired, man. But yeah, some of the calls he's made this year has been questionable. But for me, I'm still in wait and see mode. I'm not judging him until we acquire some talent.
And the thing with Dan Campbell is that he hasn't lost the locker room. That's one of the keys to keeping the job in the NFL, is that the players believe in you. He's a risk taker. He knows that he doesn't have the talent, so I got to take risks. Right. Players appreciate that. Listen, he's trying to put an effort for him. Now, yeah, he's going to ask a question because that's what you get when you have a rookie head coach. You know, it's his first time being the head coach, so yeah, he's going to try to impress. But the fact of the matter is, as you can see today, if you put everything together like they did today, this is the outcome. So why would there be any heat or hate after the first season? I'm not sure what the expectations would have been. There wasn't high expectations going into this first season anyway.
Yeah.
And watching them, you see games, like you said, we had 4 or 5 games where we lost, less than 7 points. Going into next season with a healthier roster, with a more in tune team that's know the offense more, know the defense more, those victories turn around. So we could be easily, 7 wins in right now. We could be easily outside of the playoff picture right now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I can see the progression, and especially knowing that with what we have up front.
Right.
Having an offensive line and a dominant offensive line is going to keep you in the game, and it's going to keep you in contention no matter who's back there, whether it's running back or quarterback, as long as that offensive line is healthy and as dominant as they've been looking. And in particular, this line has been, I would say, really good, has been the brightest spot of all of the positions, in my opinion.
Yeah. They've been consistent.
They have been the most consistent, even when they even haven't had their full strength yet. So imagine them at full strength. In the beginning, we didn't have Decker. He came back, then we lost Ragnow. Then the guards, they was going interchangeable. Sewell has been a bona fide stud coming out.
Yes.
So I would keep Decker and Sewell, because we was debating whether or not Sewell should stay where he's at and move Decker. No. Let's keep the bookends. Let's get Ragnow back. We got the guards in, and I can only imagine how that team is going to. It's going to.
What?
That front line, man. That front line. I'm a lineman guy. That's right. I'm a lineman guy, so I salivate when I'm seeing the lineman pushing the defense 2 or 3 yards up the field, and you got guys that's coming off the practice squad. Reynolds, over 100 yards rushing today.
What?
Over 100 yards rushing today. The 5th string running back had over 100 yards rushing today. So that should tell you what this line is capable of.
I'm almost mad to the fact that he's been on the practice squad this long. Like, what? He should have been up here. You know what I'm saying? You got a potential to have him and DeAndre Swift. You got Swift Williams, and you can have him instead. He should be taking Jefferson's minutes. Let's just be honest about it, bro. Because He's shown it. He showed. I went to the live training camp this year. I was oozing about him then. Went to the preseason. You seen it in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he had an opportunity, he made the most of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to have him as, that third running back, I definitely wouldn't mind that, man, because the kid he's 25 years old. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So the kid got something. You know what I'm saying? He got something, man. If he able to produce yards, man, and get through those holes and see those holes, hey, we got to find some time for this young man.
All right. So, yeah, with James, he said with all these young stud running backs, do we re-sign Jamal Williams?
I would still, like I said, it depends on at the right price. Yes, I re-signed him, and I keep Reynolds as number 3. Jefferson to me can go to the practice squad for all I care. I haven't seen nothing because Igwebuike is better than Jefferson to me.
Right, we got Big A in the house, man. Stop that breathing heavy, man, and get in here.
All right, come in here.
Listen,
shining in the camera.
All that heavy breathing he got going on.
Man, I always said they want to see him shiny. Look shiny to me.
Hey, you know how it is, man. Got to cook that dinner for the family, man. You know how it go, man.
Hey, I'm to it right after this, bro.
Right. But no, man. I listen. I agree with everything y'all was saying. I don't know if y'all caught my comment where I was saying this draft is very important for the Lions not to mess this up. We need to add talent to this team, man. Like you said,
I don't know if you peeped what I had posted in regards to what Quittali had said. What the Lions?
No, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, listen, like King was said, man. Look what the secondary is doing without a consistent rush. So imagine when we do get a rush and we them guys are putting some pressure on these quarterbacks and those balls are coming out a lot sooner than what they're supposed to be. Address that front seven, man, and then, add some talent to that offense in them later rounds, What we also have to do, stop doing as Detroit fans, we be so ready to get rid of coaches. Listen, we get coaches often, not because we got a bunch of talent on the team. Right. Well, I take that back because Caldwell shouldn't have been fired. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't have been fired. But
that was Patriot politics back. Exactly. Why he got let go. We all know that. So
exactly. But we got to get one thing about it, right? And I'll always say this, right? Whenever you have a guy that's a player's coach, he's going to be able to pull some things out of guys that certain coaches won't be able to. So, like King said, let him get some talent here. Let him get a draft or two, man, and then we'll really see what Dan Campbell is about, As head coach, we didn't get the name we wanted, but when you go into them assistant coaches, those guys are well respected around this league. So,
Yeah, they are. And with with Anthony Lynn, I know early on with the offense struggles and Dan Campbell taking away some of the play calling duties. I know people was questioning him, but that guy, he got some skill. I think him, I think he got him getting fired over there in San Diego was a little premature in my opinion. Because they was close over there, and he had a young rookie quarterback over there, and they let him go. So I can imagine, like I said, giving him time and getting this offense together and get the weapons in that like we need to get. See what we're going to get. The main thing is that we need to see what we're going to get out of Jared Goff. Watching what he did today, if Jared Goff, and that's what the thing he was doing over there in LA, he just managed. He's not going to be spectacular. We just got to have depth around everything else. Listen, just manage it. Don't fumble the bag. We'll take care of everything else. We got a line that's going to block for you. Don't be Mr. Check Down King because you had time. And you see, he had time today. Ain't even when he didn't have time because he was taking some hits today. He was getting that ball up the field. And that's all we were asking. Like, give us an opportunity to make plays or get the ball up the field as opposed to you hurrying up and trying to check the ball down. But earlier on in the season, he was feeling like he was trying to avoid the hit, but he was taking the hits today, and it paid off.
But this the thing, right? And this is where we also have to be realistic as fans. What did we expect for Goff to do over here that he couldn't do in LA? I mean, that's the thing. We gotta be we literally have to be realistic with ourselves. I mean, for good God, he got to a Super Bowl where the defense held the Patriots to what was it, 14 points, 17 points?
Right.
And this
And
is the Patriots. And he
offensively, I
couldn't
believe they
put no
scored 3
points up.
points.
3
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, you got the examples this year where where the defense held some of the high power offenses in this league, and he
Yeah,
couldn't give us points in the first half.
exactly.
So
So, and this,
go ahead.
go ahead, King. No, you go ahead, King. Go ahead.
No, with the Jared Goff situation, Jared Goff is to me, he's a glorified backup quarterback. That's what he is. And teams have to literally have everything possible for this guy in order for the team to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, yeah, we if he plays like this, it wouldn't be as bad watching him next season because we're going to watch him next season.
Exactly.
But is he the quarterback of the future? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So go ahead.
Yes. So that would lead to the question: Will we be attempting to draft a quarterback of the future in this year's draft?
No.
Unless something
one.
crazy happy where one fall in one of those later first round picks, no.
Right. Like King say, the only way I can see them even attempting to do something like that if Matt Corral or maybe Kenny Pickett fall to that later pick. Other than that, no, man. It's like let Jared Goff go into next season. Maybe go look for a veteran in free agency, and then get your franchise coming out next year because it's not there. It's not there. I don't want us. This is my thing. I don't want us to fall into the situation. Now, I'm finna go throwback. I'm gonna really check and see if some of you guys are Lion fans, right? I don't want us to fall into that Joey Harrington bag where we just felt like we had to grab a quarterback. And Joey Harrington wasn't the guy to grab, but we was right there like, oh,
he was the best available. He was the best available. He was that top. He was the top guy coming out. He was that next great white hope coming out of Oregon. Heisman candidate.
But he wasn't even the best quarterback coming out. The best quarterback just had got drafted before, and we just fell into the bag of like, oh, we focused on getting a quarterback.
That was Carr, wasn't it? Wasn't that Carr that came out this year? Because I think that was the first year of the Texans. I believe that was Carr that came out ahead of him.
Yeah, but it was just like we were so forced to like, oh, we got to get a quarterback. We got to get a quarterback.
I mean, yeah, but I can agree with that. I feel that we need a more solidified backup quarterback. In case say we have issues. If we're not going to go with the quarterback route in the draft, we definitely need to upgrade that backup quarterback position. Not leave it all up to Goff. We need somebody that could do a little change of pace. In this league that we're playing in now, you need that quarterback that can give you different options. Goff, he's not going to put you in a position where he's going to make defenses, think about whether or not he's going to run or he's going to scramble out. I think we'll need that type of guy as a backup just to give us, a change of pace. If we're going to stick with Goff, because Goff, he's a pocket passer. He's not that very mobile. So definitely I would look into, if we're going to do a backup, look into that caliber of a quarterback.
Yeah, it's at a point right now, where the Lions need to have a solid backup quarterback, or something that we just, continue to not do since Sean Hill. And, we need a backup quarterback and we need to bring in a young quarterback, next year to succeed, Jared Goff. We need to, if we do it this year in the later rounds, I have no problem with it, but it's time for us to bring in a young quarterback and let him sit behind some of these guys and learn and get his way up there. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that the Lions, we over 11, 12 years with Matthew Stafford, we just refuse to do for some reason, is to get a young quarterback and raise him up. You know what I'm saying? So when we had a situation where we lose Stafford, you already got a young guy, ready to go. So, the Lions need to learn how to start getting ahead of the curve. doing things. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being desperate in situations and having to be forced to do things. That's what bad franchises do, man. So you need to be smart and do things ahead of time. And like I said, this draft is the most important. You know, I mean, I can't explain how important this draft is, man, because you're getting everything out of this roster that you can get right now. And with the amount of the injuries that we had today with the guys that didn't play is crazy. And you still beat the Cardinals today with that. So, you know, this draft, you got to go out and you got to add some players that's going to come and help this team and propel this team into where we can start getting some victories, man, get some real things done. That's where you bring in the free agencies when they say, okay, the Lions are serious, man. These dudes, you know, they got something there. Dan Campbell's over there. You know, players talk with other players, man. And if they love that coach that way, they're going to spread that. And it's going to spread throughout the league. It makes it easier for free agency because nobody's dying to come to Detroit, bro.
Exactly. And like I said, for me, and I'm going to repeat it again, the best thing that Dan Campbell did was hire his offensive and defensive coordinators. I believe he understood the assignment when he came to hiring those guys because, for one, you needed veteran guys as far as like your coaching staff goes.
Yeah.
He needed that. He's aware of that. He's the rookie coach. I'm going to bring in these veteran guys, either one that was he was a coordinator at a different location and one that was a former head coach. Just come off being the head coach. So most definitely, I think that was important. And you're seeing the benefits of that, especially on the defensive side. Especially on the defensive side.
You know, when I looked that up, you know, the year we drafted Joey Harrington, you were right, Big Willie. It was David Carr who came out, right?
Yep,
but check this out. So, and like I say, this is where they were so desperate to get a quarterback. Joey Harrington came in at number 3, right?
Yep.
But this the thing is, no other quarterback went in that draft. But when I get to telling you the guys we passed up on, it's gonna be insane. We passed up on Dwight Freeney. We passed up on Ed Reed. We passed up on Jeremy Shockey, Albert Hainsworth. Maybe he wouldn't have been so crazy if he ain't have to play down there and watch it. But
I don't know. He saw that big check they was getting him. He went loco, man. They paid him too much money early.
But I just feel like whenever we so locked on quarterback, we go ahead and grab somebody, and it's just like, man, just take our time. You know, like King said, we got golf for another year.
Another year.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I agree that maybe like I said, give it another year, get somebody to build up in the future. You know.
Yeah.
So we won't be in the situation that like Pittsburgh is. Like who are they got building up behind Roethlisberger? Roethlisberger is done after this season. That's something they should have been preparing this year. Grabbing somebody, listen, you're going to be the heir apparent. You know, they tried to do that over to Green Bay. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, he's giving them the fits for doing that.
Aaron Rodgers don't want done what he did to Brett Favre done to him.
Exactly.
But this the thing. You got to give Green Bay their props because they still went and got their quarterback of the future, and he's sitting there. You know, he learning from Aaron Rodgers, and that's the thing. Another guy, Bill Belichick, he does the same thing. Another franchise that does the same thing. You got the Chargers. Exactly. Look, the Chargers went from Drew Brees to Phillip Rivers. Now it's the Justin Herbert era. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you keeping it rolling. Yeah. Harry Williams, man, you're a fool for this one, man. He's a fool for that. Listen, we hoping that Jeff Okudah come back, man. He gives us more depth, but most definitely, man. Hey, but yeah, I agree with you on that one, Big A.
Yeah, quarterback is one of those. I mean, shoot, let's look. You don't listen. Bill Belichick, he kept something in the corner pocket, and he had to go.
Yeah,
you know
he
what
did.
I'm saying?
And he had some backups behind him. He always had a backup behind him, but the GOAT wasn't giving up his throne, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, even with the GOAT gone, he still had chips to where he could play. I mean, look, he sold the Fool's Gold to San Francisco for Jimmy Garoppolo, and then he sold the Fool's Gold and brisket to
the Colts.
The Colts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But quarterback is just one of those positions. You have to, once again, like King said, that's one of those positions you have to look to the future for, man. Exactly. And ain't nothing that's going to happen from year to year. You have to look at these other franchises who's been successful and look at what they're doing, man.
Cameron Stroud got a question. Said, who would you rather have, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young as a franchise?
Me, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
So peep this.
C.J. Stroud.
I want to give my condolences to somebody real quick, because this is we need to check on these people. For all the people around the world and around the nation, let's just give our prayers to them that betted against the Lions game. I know they're beside themselves right now.
I should have pulled that trigger. I could have, won some money today, man. But I mean, everybody bet against the Lions. You know what I mean? Let's not pretend like we wasn't betting against the Lions. We honestly said, look, this is going to be one of the victories that, that was going to be bad, to be watching, because, it is the Lions. But to the dismay of all of us, the Lions they didn't barely won. They dominated this game. That's what makes this game such a different field that we're talking about today, because the way they play from beginning to end doesn't look like a Lions team that we're used to seeing. And especially the fact that we didn't have our usual weapons in this game. It's a reason. That's why we jumped on so fast, because this victory felt different. It felt different than the victory against Minnesota, against the Tigers, Pittsburgh. I know we're in the losing season, but this victory felt like a turning point victory, not just for this team here, but for the free agencies and the guys that want to come into this team next year to see, like, look what we got potential to do once we get it together.
Bro, if I came in here, if I would have called y'all last night and said, man, the Lions going to hold Kyler Murray to 1 touchdown, I would have had to run a fade with y'all. Y'all would have been like, man, if you don't get off my phone line with that.
Most definitely. So, yeah, today, it was I would say, as much as slack that we give the Lions today, of course, it's, most of it's warranted. We got to give them praise. It wasn't a barely victory. It was a sound victory against a high quality, not just a high quality team, but one that was, in line to get a first round bye in the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl caliber team. And they dominated. So most definitely give shots out to the Lions today for what they pulled off. Maybe the best. This probably will be the best victory that they have this season. And I salute the Lions today for it.
Yeah, it's definitely a time to celebrate your team, man. If you're a Lions fan, all the other things, like I was saying, the Dan Campbell situation and all the other things, man, just let that cease for the day. Let's enjoy this Sunday, man. And give these guys their flowers when they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, these guys came and showed out today, man. And I don't want to leave nothing out. Harris today. Harris was an absolute dog today.
Linebacker. I think he set the tone, because when he chased down Kyler Murray that first play, he set the tone. He set the tone, and from there, you seen them guys moving. So yeah, shout out to Harris, man, linebacker, man, because he, Kyler Murray, he's very hard to contain, and the fact that the first play they tried to get him outside and he cut that down. That set the tone today.
It did.
It really set the tone in a positive way. I'm always used to the tone getting set in a negative way, because we always end up getting like a penalty, a turnover, and don't recover from it.
Another thing, shout out to the Lions and the coaching staff. They didn't have a crazy amount of penalties today.
Yes, no, they didn't. Not at all. I don't even remember the penalties that they did have. It wasn't nothing.
Had one holding call that I can remember. One.
I remember one holding, and maybe a false start.
Yeah.
But it didn't cost us. They didn't fold. They didn't, like they usually do when them calls come in. The game is usually over after that. It was just a great all-around experience to say that, okay, we didn't allow these mishaps to hinder us like we usually do. So once again, shout out, to the Lions. Looking at this comment here, they said, what if the Lions drafted Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett is not going to be there.
Nah, he ain't going to be there.
But if he is in that later round, yes, I will pull the trigger. But yeah, he's going to be that next Pittsburgh quarterback. But if Kenny Pickett was there in that later round,
Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral is not getting past Washington and the Steelers.
No.
So we can forget about it.
Let me say something to the Lions fan base. I want to say something to y'all. Y'all have to realize this. Over the last 10, 11 years, we've seen Matthew Stafford out there without any type of real running game. This year has been the most I've seen 100-yard rushing games for the Lions since Barry Sanders, bro. Barry Sanders. That is very significant, bro. You know what I'm saying? Today, you got Reynolds out there off the practice squad against the Cardinals. 26 carries, 112 yards, man. Average 4.3, you know what I'm saying, every time he's touched the ball.
And the Cardinals has a great defense. Remember, Cardinals has a great defense. So for them to be able to do that, that just it makes it that much more hopeful because that just tells you how good this line is.
Listen, and this one thing what people got to realize, right, about this win, and this is where we can't continue to always be those negative Nancy's, right? The Cardinals coaching staff, trust and believe, they're not sleeping well tonight. Because if you just got dominated like that by the Lions and you in a tight race with the Rams, with the 49ers biting it on your ankles, like they gonna be up late. You know what I'm saying? Because
you probably lost your season after this loss because teams gonna look at what the Lions did against you. You're exposed.
You got exposed. Honestly, they got exposed more last week, and the Lions took advantage of what they saw, what the Rams did to them last week, and they capitalized on that information that they got from last week's game. And I think a lot of other teams are going to do that now. That's when coaching comes in because they're not going to be the same team going into next week either. Because if they're keying in on some of the things they're doing, plus another thing we also got to remember, they was without Hopkins, but we were also without several of our star players too. So we can't use that as an excuse because even with them not having Hopkins, they're still more talented than the Lions are.
The list ain't even close. It ain't even close compared to players missing. You know what I'm saying? The Lions pretty much missing all the significant starters you can think of, and they still beat the Cardinals to death. 30-12 with a roster like that, with all of those guys out, that's embarrassing. That is very embarrassing.
Even that team to only one offensive touchdown today is a remarkable feat. So shout out to the Lions, clap it up. Give salutes. They deserve it. You know, fans, let's give our team some flowers when they deserve it. And this is one of the times that they do deserve it because they put forth a complete effort today. You know,
my thing is if you're going to be one of those guys, the same old Lions, they won the same old Lions today.
Not even close.
You can't even find yourself to say anything negative. You have to give props when props is due, and that's what we also have to do better as a fan base. You know
exactly. This was our playoff game today. I would say this was that. It had that playoff field. This was our playoff game.
Hey,
today.
listen. I don't want to have to take the draft hat off no more. I don't mess this up for me. Listen, my Detroit Lions jersey for Vegas is going to be a 97 Hutchinson, and I will be getting the autograph that day. Please don't mess this up for me.
That's right. We did what we were supposed to do today, but let's keep an eye on the prize. You know, we still going for most definitely.
Please do.
We need some more guys added to the COVID list of mysterious.
Right.
Indeed. So yeah, of course, man, we got this Lions talk, but I think it's about time, man. We switch it up a little bit. What you guys think?
We got to talk. We got the Pistons coming up at 6. We got to talk Pistons, man.
Hey, fellas! Before we can go ahead and switch to Pistons before we deep dive in. And remember, I told you guys I had something for you guys for the next 3 weeks coming up until Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna dig into that real quick.
All right, so Willie, take us to the break, man, and go ahead and put our sponsor up, man. Let the video roll for these guys as we get ready.
Oh, for sure. Let's see. Let's go.
W3 Kings in the building at Culture Detroit.
Working hard, yeah. Working hard, yeah. Working hard, yeah. Working hard. Working hard, yeah. Working hard, yeah. Working hard.
Yes, indeed. Listen, man, we got to talk Pistons talk, man. They are on an unbelievable streak of losing.
Let me go, Big Willie. Let me go.
Go for it.
So, like I told my brothers, you know what I'm saying. I've been doing some digging in my background of these networks of collectibles and stuff like that. And so, last week, I broke out the autograph Kalian Hayes rookie for King. Then I also broke out the Damian Lillard rookie for Big Willie. So we're gonna start with you, Big Willie. This week, what I got for you, Big Willie, we got the Franz Wagner rookie card.
Rookie of the year.
Then we got the Jonathan Taylor rookie card.
Woo.
And then guy Big Willie always talks about, Jordan Poole rookie card.
Oh, that boy,
man.
That boy.
His trajectory has definitely grown over the years, man. Shout out to Jordan Poole for improving, what he's doing. But I want you to.
I'm not done.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Not done yet. I got. See, look, King. You see how he is. He heard what he got. He ain't worried about what you got. Oh,
I wasn't. It
So,
doesn't matter.
What we got for you, what we're going to add to that Killian Hayes rookie card, King, we're going to add a beef stew autograph rookie card, man.
What?
So, this will be coming your way, man. And like I say, we got one more week. Got something real nice for you fellas. We're going to, I got one more thing I'm going to add for y'all, but we're going to do that on the next show. But let's go ahead, Big Willie.
Indeed. So, of course, we're going to talk Pistons talk. But, King, man, this is a particular question, man, I really want you to address, man. It's coming to – what do you guys think about Dave Bean comments regarding K?
Can I go first?
Okay.
No. Let Hayes go first. I ain't got no words for David Bean.
Listen. It always comes a time where they, it's as youngsters, we always grew up when it says respect your elders, right? Now, once I mention this segment, my brothers are going to know where I'm coming from because we grew up watching a lot of stand-up, right? And there's a brother by the name of Bruce. He said, there's going to come a time when you have your elders, and sometimes you got to put your elders in their place. If you get a chance, you go on YouTube, you type up Bruce stand-up when dealing with elders, right? My thing with Dave Bean, right? Like, I respect Bean and everything he's done for the organization in the city.
Mayor Bean.
But my thing is for you to make those comments about Cade Cunningham, saying he's not the guy that you build a franchise around. To me, I have to ask myself, how and where did you even? Why does that comment even come out of the guy? Ever since he's been here, he showed the leadership. He showed the mentorship with Killian, and I'll take it back to him even changing himself into a vegan to make his body better and getting ready for the NBA, the speed of the game, the strength of the game that you need. And since he stepped on the floor, he showed all qualities, leadership, everything you want in a guy that you're going to build a franchise around. So I'll take a play from last night's game. Me and King was talking about this, right, with the Rockets. You got Sadiq Bey, who gets the steal, right? He throws it up to Cade Cunningham, who could have just easily went and dunked it and got the points. But what did Cade do? He passed it back to Sadiq, somebody who had been struggling with their shot. Somebody, for one, you just did all the work on the defensive end of getting the steal in the first place. Mm-hmm. Let me give it back to my brother to, one, help build his confidence, two, to reward him for you don't get that out of a 19-year-old. So I don't understand what being in his comments were you even, to me, it's just asinine, man.
It's this thing, that a lot of fans and some people of his stature even fall for, where if a guy doesn't walk out of the door as soon as he drafted looking like LeBron James, then all of a sudden he just ain't that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you even speak that madness about Cade Cunningham? And this man literally is filling your stat sheet in multiple departments, showing you leadership and doing everything that you want. He's giving you LeBron James type of vibes just by his leadership and what he's producing out there on the court. This guy is I mean, you just look at that last game. You got 21 assists just out of your backcourt. He had 11. Killian had 10. You know what I'm saying? You got 21 assists out of your backcourt. How do you even say that, Dave Bean? Like, what is it that I'm seeing that the fan base is seeing that you're not seeing? Obviously, seeing ain't the greatest thing for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, that guy, I mean, and then Blaha, if I'm Blaha, I would have had to check into him. You know what I'm saying? Because Blaha been deeming Cade a star for a while. And for Blaha to sit there and butt suck Bean when he was saying that madness was even more infuriating.
You know what gets me though, and this is the problem, right? And Dave Bing is probably one of those guys who wanted Jalen Green. For him to make those comments, that tells you he was probably one of the guys that wanted Jalen Green. Why? Because every time you look at Jalen Green on ESPN, they were showing him dunking the ball, right?
Yep.
But mind you, while Jalen Green was out there, his team was doing horrible. I mean, since he's been hurt, you know, the Rockets have been on a run, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it's just like, don't get so caught up in these highlights that they put together when it comes draft time, you know, because then we fall into the Lions drafting Giovanni Tavai, just one of the guys of many, because look at his highlights. Like, no, man, it's a lot of things that you're not gonna be able to see from the TV screen, and it just surprises me as Dave being a professional athlete, being an athlete, knowing what it takes. You know, he was successful, Hall of Famer, all of the above, right? How can you sit up there and say this guy is not a guy you build a team around? Why? Because he's quiet.
I think what it is, and maybe it's just me. I think Dave Bing right now, I think he's one of the guys that we talk about being the prisoner of the moment, because the Pistons are on this, significant losing streak. Right. He's probably saying, well, he might not be that focal person to build around. We might need a different piece. Like I guess he's kind of referring to Cade being as that, saying that he may need a duo, or he could be like the Robin to somebody else's Batman, which for me, I'm with you guys. I don't agree. I don't see. I wouldn't mind to have somebody like I don't know who we could get in to be that significant, but if we don't, Cade's upside is so much that where I don't see where Dave Bean was, where he would come with that type of, information, that mentality to say, listen, no, he's not a player to build around.
Let me tell you this, man. Cade is giving you games where he's scoring 20 plus and giving you something around 8 rebounds and 5+ assists or more. Those type of players right there are the players that you build franchises around. Jalen Green is a guy, he scores, but he's not going to make nobody on his team better. Exactly. That's just not what he's going to get his. There's going to be a bunch of empty stats at times. And we got an empty stat guy on our team right now. He can easily score 25 to 30. This is Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant scores a bunch of points, but it never helps the team. Number one, because no assists from Jeremy Grant. Is literally just chucking up a bunch of shots. He's taking up a lot of the shots on the team. So obviously it's not translating to win it. Yeah, it will help. It will help if the Pistons were doing a little bit more offensively. But Jeremy Grant is, for instance, just building a franchise around a high scorer is not going to always be successful. You can't build this franchise around Jeremy Grant. We all know what Jeremy Grant is. Jeremy Grant is a piece for another team that's winning. That's what he is. He produces points on a team, per se, with a guy like LeBron James or something. Or, where he was in Denver. He's not number one option simply because he scores 25 to 30 points here and there.
Which he was never supposed to be. He's never
supposed to be
a number one option. He's a great option to have on your team as somebody that can get buckets on their own, that can score. But he is a piece to a bigger piece.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel like the Pistons were doing when they got Jeremy Grant. It's like he's a piece for a bigger piece. Because when we got Jeremy Grant, of course we still had Blake and Rose and they was on their way out. But now we're in a real rebuilding stage. Yeah, Jeremy Grant, what you get out of him. He's going to get you buckets. He's going to get you score.
Where I was going was that's why you draft Cade. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to keep those type of players around, that's why you draft Cade, because those guys are the guys that you need to fit with Cade. For instance, over these last 2 games, we don't call him Sadiq Bey no more. We prefer Deke. He made this alter ego the other night. He called himself Deke, so we call him Headband Deke. So Headband Deke has been around. So, when guys like that get it rolling, when he finally comes out of that slump where he's scoring more consistently, and you have other guys that's able to produce points on this team along with Cade, it's going to make it more longer and sustainable for the Pistons. It's not just a bunch of guys that's selfish, running around chucking up shots like you see on the Houston Rockets. You know what I'm saying? The Houston Rockets has been that team for a while. They had James Harden, the best scorer in the league, and they couldn't get right. Number one, no defense. Number two,
James Harden play. And Chris Paul on the same team.
On the same team, and still couldn't get it done.
And Chris Paul, he's a hell of a guard, man.
Yes,
can't stay healthy though.
But that's the thing with him is, especially playoff time, is he always him and Blake Griffin was always their downfall. It's like they were good throughout the season, but they couldn't stay healthy. But last year he did. They got him to the finals, but they just
But see, even the thing with Blake though, it's what people out. To me, I was never a Blake fan because all he could do was dunk. That's it. And if he couldn't dunk, he couldn't do anything, man. And see, and that's where I think a lot of people getting misconstrued when it comes to Cade. Listen, he ain't the loud guy. He ain't gonna be on Twitter talking trash and all that. To me, when you look at Cade, and this is just me. When I see Cade, I see Grant Hill, man. And it's just like, listen, Cade is gonna let all his talking is gonna be on the court. Whatever team he's gonna be on is gonna be better. And when you go to guys with Dave Bean, right? It's like even when you look at LeBron, his first couple of years in the league, he didn't get to the playoffs. And it's like, dude, it's gonna come. And I just hate when everybody. Oh, the guy that could listen. I would take a guy all day long who knows how to shoot and all of that, right? Over a guy who can East Bay funk dunk. You know what I'm saying? But I got to teach him how to shoot. No, we done seen them guys, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I had pointed something out the other day, man, over on the other channel, man. The Pistons are, out of all the young teams in the league, they are literally the only team that are in a raw rebuild right now. What I mean by raw rebuild is you look at all the other rookies that was in that top 5 with Cade, and then you look at some of the young players that was drafted last year, the second-year players. The Pistons are the team that don't have the veteran presence available. Your veterans have been Trey Lyles and Rodney Magruder since Jeremy Grant and Kelly Olynyk is out. So you literally got these young kids out here trying to figure out together to figure out how to play together and let alone figure out their own game. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have a guy that they can feel comfortable with. For instance, the game against the Rockets, you've seen the difference there. Those rookies over there have Christian Wood. They have Gordon over there.
John Wall.
And John Wall. So they have those resources over there. This team, they don't have that.
King, this is a conversation that I had with Big A. I believe it was last night. And I was saying that's something that the Pistons need is that veteran guy. Because I was referencing like we need somebody like a Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Not saying we need to get him, but somebody like him he doesn't mind coming off the bench, but he can be able to show guys when he comes in how the game's supposed to go, how to slow the game down or speed the game up, or when it's getting out, what happens with the Pistons is when the game starts to get out of control, they don't have that veteran to say, all right, let's slow it down. Let's refocus. Let's get a bucket or let's drive and get a foul to stop the bleeding. You know, coaching, like I said, I always say coaching only could do so much, but the players out there on the court got to sense this, you know, this thing too. And I believe that's a lot of what's going on. Like you said, King, this is a rebuilding team with not a lot of veteran, you know, leadership, which is the reason why we're on this significant losing streak, in which I believe this is something that we need to go ahead and address.
Yeah.
You know, in regards to what's been going on with the Pistons lately with this losing streak. I mean, King, what do you got a feeling on that?
I mean, I to me personally, I don't feel no way about it. I expected the Pistons to be this bad. Just not only off the schedule, but like I said, basically what you got available. We haven't seen Kelly Olynyk since the very beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? And then you lose Jeremy Grant. You got nothing coming off the bench. You got Corey Joseph and Trey Lyles on your bench. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to help everybody. So I don't expect them to come out and get wins right now. They're just not at that stage for me. They're not. They're at a stage right now where they literally are trying to figure things out. The Pistons are going to have to go and make some smaller, significant moves and bring some veterans in here that's actually helpful for these guys that can, you know, hey, if the game is getting out of hand, I can trust this guy and put him in and he's going to, you know, help these guys, or, you know, a guy in the locker room that's actually going to help these guys. I need them to add someone like that. I can't sit here and expect first and second year players to go out here and be world beaters in the beginning of the season with a schedule that tough. I just can't expect that. I got to be realistic.
And you know, and going back to being like realistic, man, we got to realize how we got here too, man. Like it just goes back to us drafting too. It just goes back to, you know, people, you know, the Pistons got this thing. They want to be the smartest guys in the room, man. You know, and it's like we can't afford to do that. Like even going into this draft that we going into, it's like, you know, we have to get a big that's proven, man.
Have to.
And we have to. I'm talking about a dude that's 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet, man. We need that big, man. We need a big down there. And let's not try to go in this thing and overthink this thing and anything, you know, but we have to get big and we have to, you know, when it comes to free agency, you know, bring some guys in here that's gonna really contribute, you know, not just going out there and just picking Joe Blow and Joe Schmo, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, 2 years in a lottery, I don't think the third year in the lottery is gonna be good for this organization. So we have to kind of get this right in this draft that's coming up. You know, they got to move some good chess pieces around, man.
Yeah, they going to have to, man. And like I said, some guys going to have to get sent to the bench. Some guys going to have to get traded. It is what it is. It don't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Cade Cunningham is probably the only untouchable young guy on his team. So whatever they're gonna have to do, they're gonna have to do. They refuse to send these guys to the bench, so it kind of highlights the direction that they're going. To me, to be honest, because if you were actually out there trying to win games with this young team, you would have been, you know, making some rotations in that starting lineup when guys were struggling at their worst. I haven't seen that. You know what I'm saying? No matter how bad you see these guys play, they're not going to move them around. I honestly think the play is, me personally, I honestly think the play is to go out in this draft and go and bring a guy something like Banchero or whoever they may have their eyes on. I don't think they're looking as far forward as people think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'll suck to be in the lottery again for the third time, but I think that's the plan. I honestly do, because for first year for Troy Weaver, he came in and literally obliterated this roster. He got rid of everybody.
Which he should.
As he should. And then his first draft was, you know, the bunch, the funky bunch with Killian, Sadiq, and Saban and Isaiah. Second year, you get Cade Cunningham. Okay, bam, another piece right there. Well, guess what? Look who we got in this upcoming draft. Am I in a rush? No. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and add another piece, another insult to injury in the year where I finally have the money and the resources to go and make free agent signings.
And that makes that makes a lot of sense, King. Just because, like I said, for me, when Jeremy Grant went down, we were already on the streak. Mm-hmm. Now we're on this big 14, 15 game losing streak. We're not looking nowhere near playoffs. Like I said, I keep saying my prediction was off, but based off of circumstances that we're facing, looking at that lottery draft again to get another piece to go along with, the guys that we have now would definitely, put us in a great position. And like you said, we're going to have some capital going into this offseason because a lot of the guys that we had before that sure we've had to get rid of are off the books. So we're going to have money for guys to come in, and it's a great selling point to those free agents. Look, we got all these young pieces here. We got a high draft pick, which we're going to get another young stud. You come in as a veteran, and we could lead this team to where I would say how Phoenix is now. Phoenix was able to bring in Chris Paul to a young team with Booker and Aiden and Payne and them over there, and you see where they went. Yeah. So how can we not pitch that to one of these great veterans to come in and want to do the same thing in the East to where we have a chance?
And then when you look at the time span, you got to look at back when Booker was drafted. You look at the time span, it aligns. It aligns. Where the Pistons can go get another stud, and then we go into free agency. Now we got money to spend. So we don't have no big contracts on our team. None.
No, not at all.
No big contracts. You go in free agency, you can add some help to this team. And next thing you know, you got these young guys, they got some years under their belts, and then you got a veteran coming in to help, with the scoring load and help with those situations where you in the fourth quarter and you got a lead where you'll be able to keep those leads. And that translates to some wins. That second half wouldn't be such a drag for the Pistons. So like I said, I just think Troy Weaver is looking forward to this draft. That's why, man, I've been following the hell out of Duke and Gonzaga. Saying even though none of us we really ain't the Chet Holmgren class, we ain't trying to do that well Willie is, but we ain't trying to do that there. But I've been watching the hell out of Duke and Gonzaga, man, just because it's something that I encourage a lot of the fan base, especially Pistons fan base, to do. Try to get in some of these college games, man, and keep an eye on some of these bigs, because I know the Pistons know obviously we need bigs.
Exactly.
We the most 6'9" team in the league.
No, that's the New York Knicks. That New York Knicks take that on, and I agree with you, King. Like, of course, we watch and follow the NCAA. I know I do. I know Big A do. So when I was, when I brought up that little topic of, Banchero or Holmgren, because those were the two at the time. Was and still is being like, a significant thing. And with those two guys, I don't think that they'll have to be brought in to be that number one guy. We just need that additional firepower, which those two guys coming out the league, being young and athletic and being able to move around, brings that extra additive to this Pistons team that we're lacking, to where we can be able to compete with these other teams in the East. So most definitely, like right now with the streak that we have going on, the injury situation that we have going on with Grant and with Olenek, because I believe, we really do much. I joke about Olenek. We really miss him because, like I said, he was a veteran presence. He did some things, for us early on in the season that we probably wouldn't be struggling with right now if we had him in that lineup. That we definitely want to look forward to that draft. And like I said, it's always a lot of questioning marks when it comes to coaching, but we don't have the roster to where we don't know what we're going to get night in and night out from these guys. And for me, I would say that just because, I see a lot of questioning when it comes to, the coach need to put this in or put this guy in or sit this guy. But right now we're in a position where we don't know where these guys are going to be at from night in and night out. So just to plug in a guy, we don't know, honestly. And it's been several different lineups. There's been several different mixes that we done had during this streak. And obviously it works for a period of time, but then it doesn't work for a period of time. So to put that on the coaches, it's kind of hard for me to do that. at this state.
Well, it was one of the reasons why I said I had to correct myself because I didn't want people to think I was saying fire Dwayne Casey. What I was saying is I had a problem with him playing certain guys a certain amount of time. Now, the Pistons, Troy Weaver is in a significant situation right now because him being, if he's the guy that I believe he is, a brilliant mind and a patient guy, the Pistons have an opportunity here. You have to think about it. When you look at the Eastern Conference, yeah, you're not going to win nothing right now. So it's really no need to be rushing and pushing unnecessary buttons. But in the next coming years, you're going to have Cade Cunningham, who's going to probably be established fully into himself. So you have a East where this East is a ticking time bomb right now because you have teams like the Sixers, you have teams like Brooklyn, you have teams like the Celtics. When these teams don't win, they're going to blow all of that away. You're going to have money in free agency. So that helps the Pistons tremendously. You already got teams this season talking about blowing it up already.
Harden a free agent next year.
Yeah. So like I said, some of these teams, they're not going to be in the way. They're going to be hitting the reset button themselves because Brooklyn can't sustain them contracts. You know what I'm saying? Boston is getting tired of failure with what they have over there. So some of these top teams in this league are not going to be in the way. So the Pistons, if they take their time and do it right, they can catapult themselves up to the top half of that conference if they do it correctly.
So I would say just like the Lions at this point in time, we just we're building for the future. Of course, and like I said, the wins and losses right now is not really a factor. Of course, we'd love to get the win, in which we need to get a win to break the streak. We don't need to go on no longer streak than what we are. It's plenty of times we had opportunities to get wins, but we need to finish out games, get a win, get some confidence back in these young guys. The guys need to have losing. It drains your confidence. It sucks. It drains your confidence. So we need to get these guys confident because if they keep losing, they're not going to be confident. We need to build Killian's confidence up to make him more comfortable. We got to, make sure because K, even good as he's been playing, he's not used to losing.
Yeah.
And most of them guys, they don't come from losing programs. So definitely it's something I think we need to get a couple of victories in, and start building these young guys up, see what these young guys do, see what the roster's going to look for the future. I know there's been, like I said, a lot of Jeremy Grant trade talks. Of course, that was going to happen because, the Pistons are not in contention. For me, I always say, listen, let, Jeremy Grant, leave him alone. I think he still could be a piece for us. But if there's some future, if there's some good looks, it's not a problem with looking at, other options. But for me, I think we should leave him be, in my opinion.
And this was one thing, man, Big Willie was talking about last week, right? And me and him we were just, we brought up the Tigers. Listen, we're going to have to be talking about the Tigers on here. And I don't know if anybody paid attention to it, man. Big Willie was we were saying this. Listen, the Tigers are going to surprise some people this year. Yes. And if you paid attention to the last couple of years, they were down in the dumps. But the way the Tigers drafted, they are ready for the future, man.
And the second half of the season was incredible this year.
Second half of the season, the free agency pickups, they didn't blow the bag on shortstop from Houston, or so they ain't spent $500 million.
Down, though.
Yeah,
he turned it down.
Thank the Lord, because he wanted more. They offered him like 270, 280. He wanted over $300 million. Yeah, okay, that's great. I mean, don't need to break the bank on nobody right now. I believe the Tigers are in a great position.
Yeah, not only them, we probably ain't gonna talk Red Wings, but the Red Wings too. Red Wings is another team,
and it was just them. They went through that transition. They drafted well. They got rid of a lot of bad contracts. They got a lot of good contracts in here. And I don't know if a lot of y'all know about the 2016 bullpen. It seemed like we getting that right back, just with the draft picks and the people that we brought in.
Listen, the We Three Kings, man. I know we talk Pistons and Wolverines and Lions, but we pay attention to our other sport teams too. Now, we ain't just three trick ponies, man. We pay attention to the other guys too. So definitely we will be giving them some shout outs on this podcast, man. So you got any more thoughts or final says for for this Pistons situation?
For the Pistons, man, like I said, we just have to we got to stick this thing out, man, and be patient with what we got. You know what I'm saying? I think once we start getting those games where we can get multiple guys to have a game together, I think it'll be better for them. I think the second half of the season, once that schedule will release a little bit, I think it'll be a little bit better for the Pistons. They may make a small move or two, might move on from Jeremy Grant. You got about 30 teams that's inquiring about him. Me personally, I mean, it is what it is. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Like I said, it depends on Troy Weaver's thoughts. If he's a part of your future, you keep him. If he's not a part of your future, you get what you can for him right now. You're in a significant position where teams are after you, so you don't have to give away pieces. You can just acquire them. Right. So, like I said, it's a better position for him. So, as far as the Pistons go, let's just see where this thing go, man. And hopefully we can get Kelly Olynyk back 1 year, because I thought he's supposed to be back mid-December. I still ain't seen your stringy hair goat, Willie.
Oh, man, that's my great white hope right there, man. But I agree with you. For me, I say, like I said, we just got Jeremy Grant last year. Like he could be, he was a young guy coming over anyway.
Right.
So yeah, let's build on it. Let's not if we're going to trust the process of building up the young guys that we draft. Let's trust the process of building up the young guy that came in, because honestly, who expected Jeremy Grant to be at this level coming over when he did? Yeah. And the fact that he's in the trade talks and getting some significant pushback for the trades should tell you, listen, this is a piece that we need to keep on, because he's going to be a great piece for some other a team that's looking to make a playoff push or playoff run or even a championship run. Let's keep that. Let's not get rid of that, something that we just got last season, and build on that and these young guys and see where we going, man. Like I said, early in the season, like I said, I thought we were going to be better off than what we was. Obviously, the season's not going that way, but I still feel that we, as Pistons, have a bright future to look forward to. And let's see, if we can get another quality pick in this draft, and make sure that we don't let these young guys lose their confidence, that coming into next season, we're going to really make some noise. I mean, really make some noise for real.
Yeah. Yep. So if you want to go ahead and take us to commercial break, we can go ahead and move on.
Oh, for sure. We're definitely going to go ahead and, switch the hats up real quick.
W3 Kings in the building at Culture Detroit.
Working hard, working hard, yeah, yeah. Working hard, working hard, yeah, yeah. Working hard, working hard, yeah, yeah. Working hard, working hard, working hard, working hard, yeah, yeah. Working hard, working hard, yeah, yeah. Working hard, working hard, yeah, yeah. Working hard, working hard.
Your mic muted, Willie.
I did click on it. It just didn't go through. But we are talking Michigan Wolverines right now. Of course, this past week we had the National Signing Day, in which Michigan had a great class coming in. A bunch of future stars that that we're going to see on the field. A top 10 class, of course, that we had coming in, and may finish a little bit higher. I know we still had a few guys that still not left to sign. They're waiting. This was the early signing period. So we definitely want to give a shout out to the draft class that we have so far. I'm waiting for see if Big A come back, so we could definitely get into that. But looking at the draft class that we had going on, let's talk about this. This is something significant, with with Deion Sanders and Jackson State and flipping that number one guy.
Whoa. That's all.
That was a big thing going on.
He said he had something going. He had something up his sleeve.
And, things start to roll, heads start to roll when it came to this guy flipping from Florida State to Jackson State, going to a HBCU, and it brought up a lot of questions. Of course, well, why would he choose the HBCU? He's not going to get the spotlight like he would from one of these bigger conferences. Does this open up the floodgates for other top talented athletes to go to HBCUs? How much trouble that spells for these big universities and colleges that banking on these athletes who's been bringing in millions to billions over these last several decades, and will it last? If this is the start or the beginning of what's to come, for me personally, I'm scared. I feel like it's a sex scandal waiting to happen for Deion Sanders, because I believe the powers that be is going to shut that down. And I don't want to say it. I don't want to believe it, because personally, I feel that would be significant for these HBCUs to be able to get the publicity and be able to get the funding to be able to build these campuses up. And especially for guys like you, me, and Big A, who's, of course, we're African American men, and we got sons that, may want to take that road to one of these significant, HBCU colleges. But a lot of times they don't want to go to these places because the facilities is not up to par. But bringing in these guys like that, the guy that got flipped, Hunter, could change some things for these colleges to, to be able to not only compete, but also bring in, this available funding to these HBCUs that really need it. So that was definitely, big shout out to Deion Sanders for pulling that off. Hopefully it is something that it does open up the doors of the future for other HBCUs, not just Jackson State, to be able to take advantage of and say, listen, we can bring the talent here, let this talent come in and play, and let's share the wealth a little bit.
But one thing I would say about these HBCUs, they need to upgrade their facilities, because if you're bringing these top athletes in, I mean, you see the case of Master P's son. He pulled his son from Tennessee State because they couldn't correctly deal with his injury. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing you got to look at it too. Which,
like I said, with bringing in that talent, bringing in that, people want to be able to see this talent, brings in the TV deals, the funding, to where they can upgrade, those facilities. Like, it's hard for, I believe I was watching I Am Athlete. They was talking about it on I Am Athlete. Like, you go to a Florida State or Michigan or Alabama, and you see all the bells and whistles. Then you go to the HBCU, and saying they got a leaky roof. The kids gonna want to go to the place with all the bells and whistles.
But the thing is, though, you can't put that off. I mean, these HBCUs just got to make sure that they're investing money into these programs also, because, like I say, if you're not investing no money into the program, it's gonna be hard to I mean, like Deion Sanders said, what does it cost to put the name on the back of a jersey? But the reason why you don't want to do that is because you want to recycle the jerseys. It don't cost that much money. So my thing is, I'm not giving these HBCUs that much of a get out, because, like Deion said, what it costs, an extra $10? Like, come on, man.
But for some of these HBCUs, that extra $10, as opposed to all the other athletic programs, not just football, over the years,
I ain't buying it.
I ain't doing that.
I believe, but even if you're not buying it, the fact that they're bringing in these athletes will give them a reason to. You give them more of a reason to. Listen, we got guys coming in. We wanted to keep them. Let's go ahead and put and invest now.
Years before, but this is the thing, though, Big Willie. You got to carry yourself at a certain standard no matter what. And that's one thing that these HBCUs haven't been doing. And like I said, I just go back to the thing of what Deion was saying, just something as simple as putting your name on the back of a jersey. That goes a long way. It goes a long way. And they have to, I mean, and then the thing about it is, you got HBCUs hating on Deion. No, don't get mad because he coming in and it's just a simple thing of putting a name on the back of a jersey because it's going a long way with the kid and his family, and you mad at him talking about, they hating on him. No, you should do the same thing too. Make these kids feel like they're a priority. You know what I'm saying? And you will get more of them that want to come. I mean, Deion, like I say, he cracking the pavement. You know what I'm saying? But
it took somebody like Deion to do that. But it's like you said, it's bringing the attention that is needed for these HBCUs. Because I would imagine, our athletes going to these HBCUs instead of these colleges and universities. How significant that would change the landscape of things.
I do want to say something about
not just for the
Swing.
Not just for the colleges, but for the community. I want to add that about not just the colleges, but the community that are surrounding, because these HBCUs mostly are in predominantly black neighborhoods as well.
Yeah, I do want to say something about Mr. Dabo Swinney. His little smart remarks crying about it, but yeah, you wasn't saying anything when you were getting the pick of the litter. You were getting the guys that you want to get, and it's different now. Okay.
Indeed, it's because, and especially what it is, with the NIL coming aboard, and I think that's definitely going to make a change when it comes to the recruiting and getting more guys in HBCUs, because they don't have to again, with them being able to get those deals, it allows them the freedom to say, listen, I can get paid for my likeness, so I got an opportunity to go to this college and not have to struggle, but just let my play on the field play and focus on my athletics as well as, my academics as well, because I have those NIL deals. So I think that also plays a significant factor in, these guys making these choices. Because before, I don't think Hunter would have made that decision if he didn't have another avenue to be able to survive, in my opinion.
Well, like I said, I go again and I say, Deion Sanders, like I say, he cracking the pavement, man. He making it, he's shining a light on it that a lot of these coaches have not been doing. You know what I'm saying? Because like I go to say again, a lot of these HBCUs are sponsored by the Nikes, the Under Armours, and the Adidas. But my thing is like, but you don't want to put the player name on the back of the jersey, like what are you saving? $10? Like come on, and that's why Deion getting a bunch of slack from the other HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dang, now you about to make us have to work. We're gonna have to.
Fine.
Exactly. And that's why I say they don't get no leeway from me, because this is a lot of the things that they could have been doing.
Indeed. So, what we gonna do with it? Before you, that's why we waited for you to come back. We wanted to give a shout out to this recruiting class. Of course, Billy, you're always late, but I think you do that on purpose, man.
I mean, you should be late with the. Hold on. You should be late with the number 21 recruiting class, paying a man $95 million.
I mean, he's late, but he's always right on time, because we're gonna talk about Michigan recruiting class. Like, we're gonna give a shout out to these guys. Of course, we had right now, 23 early signees coming in this class. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely going to, take a look at each one of these guys, man, real quick. Just, you can see what's going on. And we still possibly got some more guys coming line in, not just signees, but transfers also as well. So let's jump into it a little bit. I mean, let's start this off. Let's see what we got first.
Treat me like fame, my young boy go with his daughter. Beat the casino for $2 to $4 million and touch my account and slaughter. I'm at a 50 now, I want 100, $1 billion, go in that order.
Tight end Marlon Clean.
Hey man, listen. This is where we talk levels, right? Each of those commits that came in this year, you get your personalized figurine.
That's sweet. That was sweet.
Down to the detail. like once you continue to look more and you see this, can you imagine a commit getting that right and passing that along to his parents?
That's sweet.
And this is the levels, man. This is the levels.
That's sweet.
Listen, you get to go pick out your uniform. You want visor, all your accessories, and all of that. And then you got somebody that's making a figurine out of you that you could go get in your parents.
That can last. You can put away and last a lifetime, man. No matter what happens this going forward, you got something that can last you a lifetime. So let me put it.
The V's black on black. I see him talking, so can't wait to slam him out. King slap, brr, brr.
Of course, we're gonna need offensive lineman play because we're gonna have some guys leaving very soon, man. So that's a big pickup for us as well, man. Alessandro Lorenzetti, most definitely good offensive lineman right there. That's a great pickup. 3-4-star offensive lineman coming in, so most definitely a huge pickup, man. Let's see what we got.
Hey, I want to get at measurements too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Before you go too far, you go back to Marlon Clean, right?
Yep.
Tight end, right? 6'6", 215, man.
That boy clean.
This is just going to be adding more into this tight end room that we have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Marlon Clean is out of Germany. No, I'm sorry, he's out of Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia. Yeah, he's out of Georgia. Yep.
Mm-hmm. For sure. That's a big guy, man. Look forward to seeing him. Let's see what we got up next, man. Let's keep this party going, man.
Doing this for her, I was going to war. She tried to lift me and give me a 2 and a 4. I love in a hole in the floor. Love on the chopper. When in Miami for 400,000, the rollers in love with a boat on the water. Whoa. Not to a trip like fame, my young boy go with his daughter. Beat the casino for 2 to 4 million and touch my account and slaughter. I'm at a 50 now, I want 100, a billion, go in that order.
Monty Dent, defensive back, and we got a lot of defensive backs coming in. We're gonna be, because we're gonna be losing a lot of guys. We got a lot of guys coming in.
But listen, this one thing I want people to realize this, right? Damani Dent, this guy's 6 feet, 190. When you look at this guy, this is a guy from Jacksonville, Florida. For us to be able to pull a commit from Jacksonville, Florida, just really speaks on the reach that we have. You know what I'm saying? So we probably got the best defensive back class pulled this year, man. And as we all see as we continue to go through these commits.
Yeah, let's jump into it. Let's jump into the next one. Let's see.
Doing this for her, I was going to war. She tried to lift me and give me a 2 and a 4. I love in a hole in the floor. Love on the chopper. Running some more. When in Miami for 400,000, the rollers in love with a boat on the water. Whoa. Not to a trip like fame, my young boy go with his daughter. Beat the casino for 2 to 4 million and touch my account and slaughter. I'm at a 50 now, I want 100, a billion, go in that order.
CJ Stokes, running back. Nice.
If you're not familiar with CJ Stokes, listen. And I don't know if y'all noticed, right? CJ Stokes wears a couple chains, right?
Mm-hmm.
His figurine had the chains on, man.
It did.
The attention to detail, man. But this is what I want y'all, if you get a chance, go look at CJ Stokes' highlights. One man is not taking him down.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stokes chooses violence every time he touches the ball. Listen, and he's going to be able to sit behind Donovan Edwards. He's going to be able to sit behind Blake Corum. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stokes is coming in with some passion, some aggression, and some violence, man. I'm telling you.
And if you seen him on this, at the podium at the signing day, the guy was really emotional because this was his dream school. He said this is going to be the last time you see him cry because right now he coming in with some fire, into this team.
But
so
listen, this is what I want y'all to understand too. This is a guy out of Columbia and South Carolina. Listen, South Carolina and Clemson don't miss on these guys. And I just want to give y'all a rundown, on some of the schools that was trying to get him. You got the Tennessee, you got Florida State, you got Wake Forest, you got South Carolina, Penn State, Minnesota, Louisville, you got Vanderbilt, Missouri. So he's from a mixture of SEC and ACC.
Indeed,
So this is a serious dude.
Indeed. For sure. So let's get back to it, Max. We want to make sure we leave us enough time to be able to get to this Pistons game. So let's finish with these guys, man.
Walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see on your way to see. Stress me when I can't sleep, bang on when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the seashore. You won't have no case rearrange your shit soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your sex until we spray you.
Pollard, yeah. Edge rusher, man.
Coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. He had offers from Penn State, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Louisville, Auburn. I mean, serious dude, man.
Indeed. Let's see what's next. Let's go. Jimmy Rowe, the linebacker. Listen, this guy was a huge pickup for Michigan. I think he was a late flip. At that linebacker.
No,
position.
He didn't flip. He was just he was a late. He came in late to the class. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, man, there's no arm tackling with Jimmy Roder, man.
Oh yeah, he's a great North and South guy. He gets there for sure.
I want to give some of the offers he had: Cincinnati, Florida, Iowa, LSU, Minnesota, Purdue, Wisconsin, and guess what? The world famous Ohio State.
Of course, man. Of course, a lot of these guys is going to have these same offers, man. For real, because that's how we're going to be competing on the field as well as in getting these recruits, man. So let's jump into the next one.
I drink the body since I was a kid. Unlit, how can I miss? Came from the bottom and I am built different, I'm not what you think. I cannot lose, I go out with a bang. I hope you never say my name in vain. I'm with whatever, just not playing no games. I know they say I change, I cannot say the same. I bet they want me shackled, they're locked in the chains. I guess that's just what happens with bad news. On my mama, I never been fragile. I'm the wrong with the fuck with this taboo. Turn you to R&B tattoo. Still a young nigga, feel like an OG.
Miles Pollard, man, another part of that deep defensive back class that we brought in, man.
Big Willie, 6'2", 185, man. Listen.
Size.
We got length. We got some length in that secondary. And listen to some of his offers. Auburn, Oklahoma, Arkansas, California, Cincinnati, Florida, Florida State, Kentucky, Louisville, Maryland, Memphis, Miami, Michigan State, and guess Alabama, Oregon, Penn State, Tennessee. I mean, you could go down the list.
Yeah, they're going. Of course, these guys they're going to get the top of the cream of the crops of the college elites coming after them, man. Of course, if Michigan go after these guys, they're going to have other guys going after them too, man. For real.
Because I want y'all to understand. I know you're about, he's a 3-star. Listen. Don't get so caught up in that, right? Because it ain't a reason why the Alabamas, the LSU's, and all of them coming knocking at the door. This boy is a beast, man.
Indeed,
these guys are beasts, man.
For real. Let's see who we got next.
I drink the body since I was a kid. Unlit, how can I miss? Came from the bottom and got me a check. I am built different, I'm not what you think. I cannot lose, I go out with a bang. I hope you never say my name in vain. I'm with whatever, just not playing no games. I know they say I change, I cannot say the same. I bet they want me shackled, they're locked in the chains. I guess that's just what happens with bad news. On my mama, I never been fragile. I'm the wrong with the fuck with this taboo. Turn you to R&B tattoo. Still a young nigga, feel like an OG.
Connor Jones, man, another offensive lineman, man, added depth to that offensive side, man.
Listen, Big Willie, 6'7", 285. Listen, Big Willie, Who wore number 77 at Michigan?
We got a couple of guys, man. We had Jake Long, we had Hanson over there, Hutchinson too, man. That's a significant number at Michigan.
No, 77 though. But 77, our latest guy that wore that number is Taylor Lewan.
Yeah. That was the latest
and
one.
And we know the violence he brought to the game. So we can see Connor Jones' mindset, man. You know, this guy had offers from the Oregon States, the Virginias, the Indianas, the New Mexico even offered them. You know?
Exactly. Oh, just the heads of King's laptop died, so that's why he checked out. I'm not sure he'll be able to make it back in, but his laptop died, so he might be trying to get power back up. But we're gonna keep the party going, man. Let's see who we got next.
Walking with that eater. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see feature on your way to see. Stress me when I can't sleep, bang on when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the C-shoe. You won't have no case rearrange your shake soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your section till we spray you.
Andrew Gentry, our offensive lineman, man. Listen, we're filling them spots, man, because like I said, the line that we have now, you know, they're in the next year they're gonna be gone. So we're gonna need these guys filling in.
Listen, I want y'all to understand what we getting at Andrew Gentry, right? He was actually gone on a mission trip for 2 years.
Indeed, yes.
He was actually committed to Virginia, but when they lost their coach Brocco Mendenhall, his dad and them, they opened up his recruitment. Michigan was always the number 2 school, so once that call, his daddy made the calls. Listen, Andrew Gentry was rated a 96 overall on the 24/7 Sports. He was a top 100 player. I want y'all to understand, we are getting a massive young man at 6'8", 310 pounds.
Massive.
You imagine the arms and the wingspan on that kid, man.
Massive.
And he gets to sit back for a year or two, get in that Michigan strength program. Yeah, okay.
I'm liking that, man. So we definitely look forward to seeing that big fella in the future, man. So let's go ahead and keep it going, man.
I drink the body since I was a kid. Unlit, how can I miss? Came from the bottom and down. I am delivering, I'm not what you think. I cannot lose, I go out with a bang. I hope you never see my name in vain. I'm with whatever, just not playing no games. I know they say I change, I cannot say the same. I bet they want me shackled, they're locked in a chain. I guess that's just what happens with bad news. On my mama, I never been fragile. I'm the wrong with the fuck with this taboo. Turn you the R&B tattoo. Still a young nigga, feel like the OG.
Mason Graham, man, that's a name for you right there.
Hey, Big Willie, when you're on that line and you see somebody in that 4-point stand, Big Willie, what is he coming to do?
That means business, man. I'm coming to rush, and I ain't coming to play no games, for real.
Listen, we talking about a young man at 6'4", 295 pounds. You know, we pulled this kid out of he's out of the California area over there. You know, to be specific, Anaheim.
Yeah.
You know, of course, all the schools over there on the West Coast wanted him. You know, the Oregons, the USCs, the Arizonas, all of them. But he chose Michigan.
For sure, man. You know, we recruited all over, man. Let's keep this party going.
That's what I say, man.
Walking with that eater. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see me. Feature on your way to see. Stress me when I can't sleep, bang on when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the C-shoe. You won't have no case rearrange your shake soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your section till we spray you.
Tyler Moore's wide receiver, man.
Listen, what a lot of people got to realize about Tyler Morris, he played at the same school with J.J. McCarthy.
Sure did.
So he's a receiver that's, you know, this is the only year he hasn't played with J.J. McCarthy. So it's going to be insane, man.
Yeah, so that chemistry is going to come in, which is going to give him – we already have a deep wide receiver core, but the fact that he has that chemistry already with J.J. McCarthy is just going to make that even that much more significant.
Like, come on, man. I didn't know I was on mute that whole time, was I?
Yes, you was. You know, when the video played,
Said something.
but you know that's all right. So we gonna go on to the next one, man.
Walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see on your way to see. Stress me when I can't sleep, bang on when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the seashore. You won't have no case rearrange your shit soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your sex until we spray you.
Zeke Berry, defensive back, man. He's just another piece that's part of this deep defensive back class that we recruited this year.
Listen, when Zeke Berry comes to hit, listen, I love secondary guys that love to hit, man. Listen, I know everybody want them to get the picks, but listen, those tackles, those hits do a lot of mental damage, man. And Zeke Berry, not only can he go get the picks, man, and he come bring that hit stick too, man. Pulled him out of California also, man.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, Michigan did a lot of national recruiting all over the United States.
A lot, man.
So that's shout out to Michigan for this, this big recruiting class, man. So let's just jump into the next one, man.
Doing this for her, I was going to war. She tried to lift me and give me a 2 and a 4. I love in a hole in the floor. Love on the job. When in Miami for 400,000 rollers in love with a boat on the water. Not to a tripping like fame, my young boy go with his daughter. Beauty casino for 2 to 4 million and touch my account and slaughter. I'm at a 50 now, I want 100, a billion, go in that order.
Yeah, sorry. As y'all seeing the pattern was going on with this recruiting class with all these defensive backs that we get in this year.
Listen, Big Willie. 6'2". Listen, 6'2", 200 pounds, man. I don't even have the time to go through his offers, but the world famous Ohio State offered him also.
Of course,
he was there. He was there
for the game.
For the game.
Yeah.
So, listen. Keon said, play, make her. And listen, I don't know how old some of y'all is, but Big Willie, when you see that number 3 in the secondary, what playmaker that remind you of?
The first person to come to my mind is Marlon Jackson.
And see, a lot of people might have thought you was going to say Rayshawn Gary. You know what I'm saying?
You said in the backfield. So when you say backfield,
come on, man.
Marlon Jackson is the first name to come to my mind.
Listen, that 3 was made famous by Marlon Jackson.
Yes, it
Come
was.
on now.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Let's go ahead. Let's move this on.
I got what it takes to get to the top. The money I make, you cannot compete. They know I'm getting a lot. She give me this phone. To give her a shot. I put the back to twist my shot. You know
Deuce Spurlock, linebacker, man. That boy looks like he's going to be a stud.
Big Willie, listen. Spurlock does not come to play when it's time to hit. Listen, we talking 6'2", 200 pounds. Listen. It was some rumblings that, people was putting out there that he was going to flip and this. Listen, he shut it down. No. I'm committed to Michigan. I'm waiting on signing day. I'm signing with Michigan. Listen, Duke Spurlock is another one. Listen, you got to pay attention to the class. It's a lot of speed and a lot of hitting, man. I'm telling you, man.
And we also did significant amount on this defensive side too, man. For real.
Oh, most definitely.
Let's keep the party going.
I drink the body since I was a kid. Unlit, how can I miss? Came from the bottom and down. I am delivering, I'm not what you think. I cannot lose, I go out with a bang. I hope you never see my name in vain. I'm with whatever, just not playing no games. I know they say I change, I cannot say the same. I bet they want me shackled, they're locked in the chains. I guess that's just what happens with bad news. On my mama, I never been fragile. I'm the wrong with the fuck with this taboo. Turn you to R.I.P. tattoos. Still a young nigga, feel like an OG.
Another defensive back, Cody Listen, y'all see the thing when Michigan was going after this recruiting class. We got a lot of defensive backs coming in.
Cody Jones is a safety athlete, defensive back. Out of Tennessee. Listen, Harbaugh went stumping through the SEC. He went stumping through the Pac-12, ACC. Look, it ain't just a regional thing with him. And that's why they didn't want Harbaugh to be doing them satellite camps. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For one, it would have made them work some more. And they didn't want him all stumping through their backyards.
Indeed. Of course, man. So that's another one. Like I said, you see the thing that we had this year in recruiting. There's definitely a lot of defensive backs. And I think we're not done yet because it's one difficult one.
V's black on black. I see him talking, so can't wait to slam him out. King slap. Brr, brr.
Go for it. Go. Yeah. Oh yes. Kenneth Grant.
Listen.
Big
out of
fella.
Maryville, Indiana. Listen.
Yes.
This is a 6'4", 335-pound side-walking, cracking young man that's gonna be anchoring that middle D of the D line, man.
Yes, indeed.
Listen. So this what we have to understand, the way the recruiting is happening, right? So if you pay attention to what they're doing, Michigan is most definitely heavy on a lot of the areas where we have people that's going to be leaving out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're paying attention to that, and it's not that they're going to be leaving next year, but the following year. So these younger guys are going to be able to get some coaching and being able to follow the guys that's ahead of them and the guys that's going to be starting.
Keep the rotation going. So yeah, definitely, that's a big boy, man. That's a big boy. So we look forward to seeing that name over the next season or two for sure. So of course let's keep this thing going, man, and see who we got up next, man. I think this is going to be.
Hey, Big Willie, before you go,
yeah,
Ohio State offered him too.
Of course they did. Why wouldn't they?
Wisconsin did too.
Yeah, I believe the whole nation offered that big fella. How could you not? All right, so let's see who we got up next, man. Let's.
For 2 to 4 million and touch my account and slaughter. I'm at a 50 now, I want 100 billion, go in that order.
Got quarterback.
Listen, Jaden Dingo coming out of he's coming out of California, and Michigan State offered him.
Yeah, he's a nice dude, one of them, dual threat quarterbacks.
Dual threats, most definitely.
Yeah, we need in the system. And the boy got a rocket for an arm, man. I seen him at one of the programs. So he definitely got a rocket for an arm. So definitely look forward to them coming in, and hopefully he can be able to, get up under guidance, man, and get some real coaching going on for sure. All right, so let's keep this party going. I think this one, if I'm not mistaken, this might be that cream of the crop that we got in our recruiting class. So let me click on this one, see if this one is it.
V's black on black. I see him talking, so can't wait to slam him out. King slap. Brr, brr.
So definitely another good one, man, in that defensive backfield, man.
No. That was Darius Clemens.
Oh, I clicked on Clemens. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Yeah.
Listen, 6'3", 205, running a 4.3. Him and Andrell Anthony grew up playing together. Oh, my goodness. Them two on the outside, Tyler Morrison in the middle. Come on now. Come on. The future is bright at receiver, man.
Indeed it is. Let's keep it going. Let's see. Let's go. We got it.
Walking with that heater. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see it. Feature on your way to see. Stress me when I can't sleep, bang on when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We gun into the seashore. You won't have no case rearrange your shake soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your section until we spray you.
Now Derek Moore, now he was a late addition. You know, after they did the 22, they had 22 signed. He was the 23rd guy come in late that we flipped later on.
Yeah, they flipped. Well, you know, he decommitted from Oklahoma, man, and this was a big one for us, man. You know, Derek Moore, defensive line, he's gonna be on that end. You know, man, this was a good one for us, man. 6'4", 250, and they say his 250 don't even look like 250, dude.
Of course it don't. Of course it don't, man. So yeah, this definitely was a significant class. Now I did miss one. I might have misclicked on it. I might have to find it, but you know, because you know, he was
Moore is the O-line coach, known as.
Who's our O-line coach?
Sharon Moore.
Sharon Moore. That's correct. Let me see if I can see. We got one more that I didn't get to. I'm trying to see if I can find him on here because he's actually, you know, a significant piece. So let me check and see.
That's a couple more you didn't get to.
I might have overclicked a couple of guys though, but of course, of course, the 5-star Will Johnson that we got coming in. He was the top of the class, and maybe
we got our other tight end, Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
6'5", 230. Alex Orgy, the quarterback we flipped from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he was a late flip. Yeah, so I had him on here too. So I might have overclicked some guys who might have disappeared, but I believe they're on here. So but I think we got enough for the guys to see what the type of class we had going there.
But just keep going through them. Let's go through them all.
Let me see. I'm about to see if I can pull them up. Let me see.
Got to get a Marion.
Walking with that.
One more.
Doing this for. I drink V's black on black. I drink the bodies of walking with it.
We think we got enough. I ain't trying to go through clickbait, but yeah, we went through the most of the class where everybody got to see exactly what we had going on. But we definitely want to give a shout out to those guys, man. The recruiting class that for Michigan coming in. Looking forward to seeing what these guys gonna do at Michigan, man.
I want to mention another guy, Marion Walker. We flipped him from Notre Dame. He's a 6'4", 175-pound receiver. So if you remember our previous recruiting classes, we got a lot of those guys, like the A.J. Hennings, the Mike Sandstrills, those guys. But then this one, we went with the length at the receiver spot,
Indeed. So yeah, it's great recruit guys. So we definitely want to give them a shout out today, man. Just hope these guys will make a significant impact soon, at the University of Michigan, man. But we definitely, we spent a lot of time today, man. We definitely gonna get this wrapped up, man. You got any final thoughts there, Big A?
Man, I'm ready for the game, man. I'm like, come on, man, let's go shock the world, beat Georgia, and then let's go beat Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Congrats to, Harbaugh for getting the AP Coach of the Year. Mm-hmm. Congrats to Gaddis on getting the Offensive Assistant Coach of the Year, the Broyles Award. Some big things that's going to be coming up for Michigan. Basketball team, I saw last night they had a bunch of people come in. I know a lot of people was like, oh, this star here. Trust me. Juwan Howard got on that phone and was like, hey, I need y'all to come down here and talk to some of these fellas.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I saw. I didn't see a star-studded event, guys, court. No, that was to, hey, come talk to some of these guys. Sports, Eric Sportster, he most definitely, man, like I felt what he was saying to those guys. Like, listen, man, Juwan Howard is still a mentor of his. He said that. Mm-hmm. He said he wouldn't been successful as he was without Juwan Howard. So I think that basketball team is going to be a good turnaround for them, you know. But yeah, I'm ready for Michigan to go beat Georgia and then on our road to beat Alabama. Pistons, like I say, you know, we can't be looking at these games for W's. You know, we got to look at it from a different lens, you know, growth and development.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, indeed. Yeah, so most definitely, you know, like I said, looking forward. Of course, you know, we count down the days that we, you know, we get to see Michigan in college football playoffs. You know, New Year's Eve. That'd be a great way to bring in the New Year's with a victory. You know, like I said, looking forward to, you know, Michigan basketball getting back on track. Pistons looking forward to seeing these guys continue to grow and develop with these young guys. Lions, like I said, today, great victory. You know, that's something we could build on going into, you know, future games and into next season. That, you know, we really can play with the, you know, the best of the league. And I also want to say, like, you know, for you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share. You know, we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you know, YouTube. We're on it. You name it. Shout us out. Leave us questions. Listen, we got, you know, we're going to be, you know, discussing more topics. So, like I said, ask the Kings. Like I said, I put a tag on there, Twitter, and ask the Kings. Any questions you want to ask us, whether it's sports related, current events, something that you may have seen and heard on, you know, the news or the TV, just go ahead and give us a question. Like I said, it could pop up on this podcast. So definitely check us out. Like I said, we want to interact with everyone, with the, you know, with the guys. Like I said, get them likes and subscribes up so that, like I said, we can get this, you know, this raffle going again. Because, like I said, we want to do that again because that was a big success and we had a lot of fun doing that. So definitely enjoyed you guys being with us today. Like I said, we was on for this 2 hours. May had to jump right on after that Lions victory because the guys was excited. I was excited. King was excited. Big A was excited, and we're excited for you guys as well. So once again, we thank you guys for coming out. God bless everyone for joining us. Also, like I said, take care of yourselves. You know, we got this COVID situation going on, so take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Love on yourselves. Love on your families. We three Kings, man. We send our blessings and love to everybody, and we out.